Happy 2025, right? We survived and we are here. I am L6 and this is... I don't have a name yet. I should pick a name. It doesn't matter what the name is. What does matter is today I am bringing you my well overdue One Piece review. I know, right? It's only been, a couple of years? Just a couple, but it's fine though, because my last review was up to episode 50. And now I'm up to episode 646. So it's been a haul. And I'm okay with that because I have enjoyed this show so much. And it's ridiculous how much I've enjoyed this story. Like, the stories that are told through this anime, I mean, it shouldn't matter the format. It should never matter the format. But the fact that such depth of storytelling is available in such a very robust show, and even though the cast is like literally an entire world, it doesn't feel huge at all. Everything feels intimate, everything feels concise, and everything feels as if it's meant to be there. Well, of course it's meant to be there. It's a story. So I want to discuss everything pre-Timeskip. So if you're unfamiliar with the show, One Piece has where they are in the present, the show stops for 2 years, and then they're in the present again. Yeah, okay. Point being is that it's before that 2-year gap that I feel is a good border on the show. And since it's around episode 516, it, kind of is a halfway point, because let's be honest, the show is at over 1,000 episodes now. I think they're even at like probably 1,100 at this point. But what I do know is that the show takes you on very unexpected journeys. And the reason why I use that specific phrase, I'm chilling and you're like, I am comfortable in my space, and then all of a sudden here's Oda knocking at the door saying, hey, we're going on an adventure and you don't have a choice. Because quite frankly, I did not have a choice. I had so many of my friends tell me that I should watch it and that I should put toward all this energy into investing all this time in One Piece, and I'm like, I don't really want to invest 1,000+ episodes only to be disappointed. Well, guess what? If the show ended where I'm at right now at 646, then I would be quite okay with how everything turned out, and it would still feel like a completed story. To that effect, I think that the true end of One Piece for me, when it comes to like from a storytelling aspect, and what I mean, the ending is not as it needs to stop, but at that point, I was okay if the show didn't go beyond that progression. And that was at the G8 arc. So the G8 arc is actually one of my top 3 favorite arcs. Even though it's a filler arc, it's still one of my top 3. And I will argue about it with anybody. It is as good as a 50 episode arc on any show. Go ahead in the comments, make your case. So what I really enjoyed about the G8 is the fact that you have this very unlikely thing happen. I know, gritty good story, right? Where you're dropped in the middle of a military base or a marine base, and they're pirates, they're criminals. So what are they going to do? How are they going to move out of this situation? Well, since it took me forever to watch the show, 20 years after it aired, I figured at some point the characters were going to survive after that. Because, I mean, if you have a 1,000 episode list, you know that at some point, one of those characters will make it all the way to the end. Even if, Game of Thrones style characters were cut off. But so far, Oda has not let me down on this, and the rest of us down, at least where I'm at in the show right now. But getting back to topic, G8 was the actual true end for the show for me, for the simple fact that you had a ragtag group of people who were obviously there for each other and each other's protection and stuff like that. And then you had them in an impossible situation. yet, another one. But it felt different because it's like, well, this is the place where they've been trying to avoid since episode 1. So let's see. Are they going to survive it, or are we got to watch 500 episodes of them being an impel down? I mean, I would be good either way, because as long as the storytelling's there, who cares, right? But the craziness where you have each character play to their particular strengths, like Chopper, he decided to step in and be the doctor for the base, helping, through surgery, saving dozens of Marines, even though they wanted to put him in jail. Well, I guess technically at this point in the show, he doesn't have a wanted poster, but he's still part of the crew. And so Nami, of course, her mission is, all right, let me see where my people are at. I'm going to disguise myself. Oh crap, they got my gold. We are going for it right now. And it was just such a small 10 episode pack of ridiculous action. And I felt completely satisfied as a viewer at that point if One Piece decided to end right there. I'm glad it didn't, though, because I am obsessed at this point. Like, it's gotten so bad where now, like, in an arc that I do like, whether or not it's in my, my top ranking, I will watch One Piece 6 episodes at a time. I actually count it. And what's so bad about it is now I have my bedtime specifically built into, let me watch six episodes of One Piece tonight. So that way, whenever I do go to sleep, it's at my normal cutoff on the show. Except if they're in the middle of like a fight and I really want to know the conclusion, then I will stay up as long as it takes. I mean, unfortunately, 4 a.m. has been my record. So, but it's cool though, right? The cool thing about my watching One Piece is the fact that I feel like I have such an insatiable diet for all of the content there, all of the shows, where now I'm sitting here thinking, I'm about to make my entire cosplay list, everyone in the show. Okay, I'm not going to do that, but it's not a terrible idea, and that would provide me cosplays until the end of time. So I don't ever have to think about it ever again. But, not happening. Mm-mm. Here's the thing, though. Thriller Bark and One Piece had to be the arc that gave me those most like, I need to see what happens next. I need to see what happens next. Only because it gave me such Scooby-Doo vibes where I was like, okay, I will go the distance with this one. Honestly, I think that I don't remember how long it took in days, but I know it was a very short time for me to knock that one out. And the best part about it is it was unnecessarily funny. And I do mean very, 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 very unnecessarily funny. But so one of the other reasons why I like Thriller Bark so much is because it had the introduction of Frankie as a full-fledged member of the Straw Hat crew at this point. This was right after Water 7. And Frankie, I didn't realize it at the time. No idea at the time. But I absolutely adore Frankie's character more than I adore Chopper. And for those who know me personally, that's saying quite a bit. Because I absolutely adore Chopper. Probably more than Robin does in the show. But Frankie, for me, was the perfect, I guess you could say, closed loop on the Straw Hats. And at this point, we also have Brook, too. Let's be honest. If Luffy asks you to be in his crew, as he does with pretty much everybody, you pretty much guaranteed Straw Hat at that point. So let's just say Brook was there for all the festivities as well. Who was a great addition, by the way. Brook's backstory, ridiculously sad. And I am awaiting the eventual reunion between Brook and Laboon. I think that's how you pronounce it. That better be how you pronounce it, because I'm not about to go look it up. However, it was also kind of funny, that whole arc because of the recurring burying the dead, and Luffy decided that an actual alive guy was more dead than but hilarious. Again, ridiculously funny for no reason. Uh the other thing that kind of defined that kind of tied everything together for me for Thriller Bark is at the end of the arc, you see Zoro take full punishment for Luffy by Kuma. And the crazy part about all of that is the fact that it solidifies Zoro as a bona fide Straw Hat, but also it gives you a very clear understanding of how much Zoro follows Luffy, which is a huge contrast to what was it, episode 2 or 3, where Zoro was just like, I hate you, why are you in my face? But it's a very good dynamic. Again, Thriller Bark was, a couple hundred episodes in, but you really, it was like, if you don't understand this at this point, let me slap it in your face and say, hey, Zoro is a Straw Hat through and through, and he will follow Luffy to the end of the planet. And for those people who are not familiar with One Piece but are interested, and I'll try to spare you as much spoilers as possible. I know I'm a little late to say that, but whatever. One of the biggest things for the show for me, again, we're just talking pre-time skip, is all of the social things that are pointed out. You have classism, you have racism, you have slavery, you have, all of these elements that are still present in current day. And yet it puts it in a very digestible format for people. I guess this is why the show, was aired 20 plus years ago. It makes so much sense, as a reflection as for society as a whole. And so if you're, if you like, very raw, full of emotion type stories, check out One Piece. Yes, this is an endorsement of the show in the middle of my review that is full of spoilers. Don't judge me. It's a new year. Still fresh. But for those who have watched it, by far and away, some of the things that are, again, recurring things that are brought up in the show, it's just, you would think that, a show will only go so far. Hoda was like, nah, we are going full sin. And to be quite frank, One Piece truly does need to be studied as an entire college course, a 2-semester college course, when the show actually does officially end. And let's be honest, the show is never going to tell us what the One Piece is, because the One Piece was the friends that we made along the way. I have to ask, what is your favorite arc? Drop it in the comments below. So we have G8 as mine. We have Thriller Bark as mine. The other one is Enies Lobby, but I think that Enies Lobby in its own self deserves an entire 30-minute to hour discussion on just that arc from start to finish. Because I truly do believe that while it's not my favorite, it is in my top 3. While it's not my favorite, it is certainly by far one of the more impactful arcs that I've experienced in the show, from a wide range of all sorts of emotions. And I am here for all of it. One other complaint, though. I have a severe complaint about the show. How the hell did I cry over the Going Merry? Why did I cry over the Going Merry? I don't understand where the emotions came from a 2-dimensional character. Why? How? I don't understand. I still feel some kind of way about the Going Mary. Whenever I see an edit on like YouTube or TikTok, oh my goodness, I will sit there, watch, cry, probably save it in my playlist to never watch again. But this show, what the hell? Is because it does indeed feel like you're Bilbo Baggins. Okay.